Palm Beach County filed a lawsuit late last week accusing some of the biggest names in the drug industry of fueling the area's opioid epidemic. That suit targets companies like Walgreens, Walmart, and CVS-Health. Palm Beach is just the latest in a string of local governments throughout the U.S., including the city of Delray Beach and Broward County, to file suit against the pharmaceutical industry for what they're calling negligent, deceptive, and unfair practices directly contributing to the opioid crisis. Palm Beach County had the highest rates of opioid-related deaths in both 2015 and 2016. Last year alone, nearly 600 people died from opioids. Now, County Mayor Melissa McKinlay wants someone held accountable. Here's journalist Jamil Donath with more on the lawsuit and what this means for those affected by these deadly drugs.
This is at Riggins in Lantana.
For Eddie Schmidt and his family, days like these are hard to come by. Today is one of those days, as Schmidt's son, Mark Goncalves, and his husband, Ozzy Medeiros, exchange laughs at their restaurant, Table 26 in West Palm Beach.
This is when we felt Mark was the healthiest.
Mark is addicted to opioids. It all began when Mark got infected with MRSA at 17 years old, and a doctor gave him Vicodin to ease the pain.
That prescription was supposed to last me a month, and it was gone in 4 days.
Mark has been in and out of 14 treatment centers and sober homes over the last 7 years.
If I'm not high, I'm either dope sick or I'm miserable.
It's been heartbreaking to just kind of watch this unravel over the last decade.
Palm Beach County Mayor Melissa McKinlay says she hears these stories all too often.
1 year, I spent more than $6 million just rolling out ambulances on more than 5,000 overdose calls. That's the tip of the iceberg.
McKinlay has fought on the front lines of the opioid epidemic in Palm Beach County.
At some point, you have to say enough is enough, and we need to hold those who are accountable.
The county is suing 29 pharmaceutical companies, including Walmart, Walgreens, Johnson Johnson, and Teva Pharmaceuticals, for its role in the opioids crisis.
What we found was a systemic, intentional pattern of misleading doctors, hospitals, state and federal regulators, and that they essentially changed the medical practice and the way doctors and patients view opioids by lying and misleading the addictive nature of it.
John Paul Portal is with the Ferraro law firm and has a background in litigation against big pharma and the tobacco industry. They are one of the law firms representing the county in this case.
They're all responsible because each one of them played a significant role. Each one of them chose to look the other way while earning billions of dollars at the cost of Palm Beach County's taxpayers.
In the 266-page complaint, it starts off saying this case is about one thing: corporate greed. The hope is, by winning this suit, they can use that reclaimed money to recover and provide treatment services, education, and tools to first responders to help fight the opioid crisis in the county.
I don't want to see any more lives lost like that.
We reached out to 13 of the 29 companies for comment. Of those, 3 gave us a statement. The Healthcare Distribution Alliance writes the idea that distributors are responsible for the number of opioid prescriptions written defies common sense and lacks understanding of how the pharmaceutical supplies chain actually works and is regulated. Those bringing lawsuits would be better served addressing the root causes rather than trying to redirect blame through litigation. Janssen Pharmaceutical says our actions in the marketing and promotion of these medicines were appropriate and responsible. The labels for our prescription opioid pain medications provide information about their risks and benefits, and the allegations made against our company are baseless and unsubstantiated. Endo Pharmaceutical says we deny the allegations contained in this lawsuit and intend to vigorously defend the company. Endo is dedicated to providing safe, quality products to patients in need, and we share the public concern regarding opioid abuse and misuse.
We're confident that we will prevail in the end. We're confident that we're going to bring justice to Palm Beach County.
And justice to families like Mark, who fear losing their son to addiction every single day.
They're taking people that we love very much away from us. I want to see him graduate. I want to see him on his wedding day.
But they fight on.
Our philosophy as a family is that love will win.
And laughter
Shock treatment's next.
Doesn't hurt either.
Yeah, shot treatment got me this far.
Jamil Donath, your South Florida.
Now, if Palm Beach County loses the case, the law firms have agreed to foot the bill at no cost to the county or taxpayers. The Florida bar says this is unethical, but Ferraro Law Firm says they are not doing anything against the law and will stand by its decision. And here to explain more on all of this is Nova Southeastern University's law professor, Michael Flynn. Thank you so much, Professor, for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Sandra.
You know, before we get into the details of this suit, let's take a step back. How unique is this suit? You know, local governments taking on huge corporations in a huge battle like this.
In Florida, it is. We have some experience with that because we have been involved and was involved in the tobacco litigation, where the state of Florida decided to take on the tobacco industry and do it through the litigation process. So it's unusual, but not unique. Because of the opioid epidemic and the crisis that is perceived throughout the country, I think you're going to see more of this. I think this is something where county governments and city governments and maybe even state governments get themselves involved in determining whether or not these are worthwhile strategies to file lawsuits against so many of these suppliers.
What is the risk for local governments, right? I mean, when there are a lot of attorneys involved, that's not cheap.
No. The attorneys are not going to be cheap. And especially attorneys like the ones that we're seeing here, the Ferraro Group and the other lawyers. They're very competent lawyers. These guys know what they're doing. The firms know what they're doing. It depends on the relationship between the firm and the actual government entity. If they're taking on a case like this and they're taking on in a contingency fee, that means basically that the lawyers are going to get paid only if they're successful in the case. That's the way so much of this litigation, which has high risk, is handled for purposes of paying lawyers. It's the other side of that equation that creates the problem. And what creates the problem you mentioned before with regard to the county and their seeking indemnification or requiring the lawyers to pay back to the county whatever those expenses could be.
Now, in these other cases where we've seen, you know, local governments going after this industry, there've been federal cases or filed in federal court. This one went to state court. Is that significant?
Both courts are capable of handling this kind of litigation or dispute. I think there might be some tactical advantage for Palm Beach County bringing it in the state court in Palm Beach County. That's their local courthouse. That's the local judges who are subject to election and so on. I think they're going to feel at home there. In federal court, it's a different kind of courthouse because those federal judges are appointed for life, can only be removed based on some kind of impeachment charge. And the jurisdiction of the federal court to hear cases is much more limited, usually involving some violation of a federal statute or because the parties in the lawsuit are from different states. In Palm Beach County's lawsuit, they're suing a whole bunch of people as defendants who are not only in the state of Florida, but outside the state of Florida. They're bringing it purely on state law-based claims, which is negligence and fraud and unfair and deceptive trade practices and that. So it may be a tactical advantage for them to stay in federal court as long as they can.
Now, the law firms have said that they're footing the bill for this at no cost to the county or taxpayers. Was that surprising to you?
No, I think this is a high stakes game when you're into this kind of litigation. These are law firms that are looking at this case and evaluating the risk, and they know what the upfront costs are going to be to prosecute this litigation. They're going to spend the money to do it in the hopes that when they're successful, out of that recovery will come their fees and costs.
Now, the Florida bar responded saying this is unethical.
Well, the Florida...
Explain that to me.
This is a tricky one. What the Palm Beach County did in their, at least the way I understand it, in their representation agreements with these three firms, is they said if you're unsuccessful, if it turns out that the lawsuit is determined by a judge to be frivolous, then the other side, the defendants in these cases, could be entitled to their attorney's fees and costs, and that would be something that the county would have to pay. What they want is these law firms to take on that indemnification so they don't have to pay out those fees and expenses, but rather the law firms would. That's right on the ethical line. The Florida Bar's ethics opinion says we're not in favor of that, because what you're doing now is blurring the line between attorney and client.
Right.
The lawyer all of a sudden now is funding the client's litigation, and we don't want lawyers doing that. On the other hand, the Palm Beach County attorney went out and got a separate ethics opinion and says, no, I don't think the bar opinion is correct. The ethics opinion is correct, and presented that to the county commissioners, and they decided to go forward, at least at this point in time.
Professor Flynn, thank you so much for explaining all that to us. We appreciate it. We appreciate your insight.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you very much. What do you think about the Palm Beach County lawsuit over opioids? Send us your thoughts. You can reach us by email or on our Facebook page at Your South FL. Send us a video or a message about this or any other topic that's impacting you and your community. We look forward to hearing from you.